Welcome to today's show. My name is Jesse Malin, and I help you make your best relationship. So far in this series, or in this playlist, we have been talking about doing shadow work. That is working on those aspects of us that have been suppressed, or we have chosen to hide, or have been shamed, or have been ignored, and have created a separation or a disconnect within ourselves from our true self, from our core self, our higher self. And when we have this disconnect, we've talked about how you are no longer authentic. You worry about what other people think of you, or what they will or may think of you. You become a people pleaser, and really, ultimately, you lose that connection with love and joy and gratitude, fulfillment, meaning you lose some of that connection with that because you're not able to tap into that. And because of that, you're not able to create and have fulfilling, lasting, happy, meaningful marriage or relationships, right? Because it all stems from within you. And when you fix and heal or repair or reconnect that disconnect within you, when you start living authentically and take back your power, that's when you can really start to tap into loads of love. You really start experiencing fulfillment in your relationship. That's when you start having a purpose-driven or purpose-filled life, one that has meaning, one that has joy, one where you want to wake up in the morning, where you feel grateful, right? And so that's what we've been working on with the shadow aspect. And in today's video, I want to teach you how to specifically work on healing that shadow aspect that each of us has. We use a process here at the Make Your Best Relationship. We use a process known as the belief breakthrough process. This is a process that all therapists, coaches, or mentors use to help their patients or their clients work through problems that they have in their lives. And where this is a channel about relationships, this belief breakthrough process is going to be a powerful tool for you to use to help strengthen your relationship with yourself, so that you can strengthen your relationships with others. But I have to have a little bit of groundwork set in place before we get into the process itself. And that is this. When you meet with a therapist or a coach, they will always ask you what the number one thing is that is keeping you from getting what you want. That is generally one of their first questions. They ask you what you want and what's keeping you from getting it. And what it always boils down to is yourself. You are the number one thing keeping you from getting what you want. And here's why. Because your reality is simply a reflection of your inner beliefs. And if you have this disconnect within yourself, that is going to show up in all aspects of your reality. I know this might be a hard thing for some people to swallow. Some people, and I was even caught up in this trap or the snare myself, thinking, well, the reason I'm this way, or the reason I have to deal with X, Y, and Z is because so-and-so did this to me, right? Or because I was treated unfairly, or life's not fair. I was really caught up in the mindset of life sucks and then you die. The universe is out to get me. Those type of ways of thinking. And those are not serving you. That type of thinking is keeping you trapped, is keeping that disconnect, is keeping you unauthentic, being a people pleaser, worried about what other people think of you. Those types of things come from thinking in those ways, right? It's not somebody else's fault. It's my fault. And that is the groundwork that you need to recognize as we move into this belief breakthrough process. And if you're okay with that, continue watching and we'll jump right into it now. So the belief breakthrough process. First thing, right? What is the number one thing keeping you from getting what you want, right? What is the number one thing stopping you or keeping you from your greatness, right? Those type of questions. So answer that. What is the number one thing keeping you from your greatness, or from keeping you from getting what you want? Think about that. A lot of times, people that I've worked with or people that I've seen, they usually reply with something to the effect of, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not lovable, right? Something like that. So the very next question the trained therapist or the coach would ask you is this: what is the first memory that comes up for you when you think the thought? And they would repeat back the limiting belief that you first stated to their first question. So as an example, what is the first thought that comes to you when you think the thought, I am not lovable? Whatever that first memory is that comes to your mind with your specific limiting belief or your specific thing that is keeping you from getting what you want, whatever that first memory is, that's the memory you need to work with in healing your shadow, that inner child, right? Healing that inner child in all of us. Don't brush it away. Even if it seems unrelated or ridiculous, that first memory is important. That's the memory we want to work with. And sometimes that memory stems clear back in childhood. Other times it's just from yesterday or just from the recent past. It doesn't matter when it was from. Go and visit that memory. Acknowledge that memory. And when you acknowledge that memory, allow yourself to feel the feelings that came up for you during that experience, right? Whether it was a traumatic experience and you're uncomfortable with it, whatever it is, allow yourself to revisit it, acknowledge it, and then you can start the healing process, which is this. There are multiple ways to do it. One way that I really like doing is going and visiting with myself, visiting with my younger self, and asking them questions and giving them validation and sharing love with them. And that's really powerful. And if you're not comfortable with yourself visiting your younger self, maybe use a trusted friend or someone you trust, or a deity. If you're Christian, use Heavenly Father or Jesus Christ, or it doesn't matter what your religion is. If it's someone you trust, use them if you're not comfortable giving yourself validation. But here's a really cool thing. When you do use yourself to give your past self validation, that's when you start to take root in yourself. That's when you start to stop worrying about what others think and value your own opinion. That's when you start to value your own self, build that self-worth up, that worthiness, that confidence, if you choose to do it that way. But you don't have to, and doing it with someone else can be just as powerful, or just about as powerful, I would say. And so, you go and you visit that, you acknowledge yourself, your younger self, and you love on yourself, you give yourself validation, and do things to help heal yourself. One thing that I really like to do when I go and visit myself, my past self, or this experience that I had, is I like to ask myself, this inner child in me, I like to ask, what is something that I could do right now to start healing, or to be healed, or to feel healed, right? What is something I can do right now to feel healed? I ask myself that. I know it's kind of weird you talking to yourself, but guess what? When you ask yourself the questions, those type of questions, you start to get answers. Your higher self, the you that you really are at the core, knows exactly what you need. And sometimes you get weird ideas. I've gotten a lot of weird ideas. I felt kind of suppressed growing up just because of our societal teachings or religious teachings. I felt suppressed, ashamed of my anger, afraid to cry because that wasn't a manly thing to do, as I'm a male, right? That's not a manly thing to do. You got to be tough. With my sexuality, it was very sinful doing anything. And so I felt like those things were suppressed, and I understand things better now, but those aspects of me still linger and have affected me in all aspects of my life, in my relationships, in my work life, in my health, things like that, because I didn't feel valuable, I didn't feel worthy, those type of things. But as you go back and you get the ideas, you ask yourself, what can I do right now to heal this aspect of me? You will get ideas, and sometimes they are weird or strange. Do them anyway. Don't worry about what other people think, because you're taking your power back right now. Heal yourself, give yourself validation, and love on yourself. And then take action in the ideas that your higher self, when you ask yourself and you get those ideas, take that action. Because taking that action will begin to prove to your subconscious mind that you are no longer this old version of you, that you are no longer this limiting belief that is ruling your life. You no longer hold on to that. You've let that go. And remember, when you let things go, you make room to bring new things into your life. It's just how it is, right? The law of subtraction enables the law of attraction to take place so that you can change and transform your life. But you can't do that until you become aware, and then once you're aware, you can do and use the belief breakthrough process. So I hope this video will be helpful. I want to share with you that right now we have an official Make Your Best Relationships Belief Breakthrough Process script for sale on our website. We're selling it at 1/3 of the cost. Normally it's $150. We're selling it for $50 so that you can get your hands on it and heal specifically those aspects that you need healing, and share it with your loved ones. Strengthen your relationship with yourself, build yourself up, reconnect, and start living authentically. Take your power back, because when you do, that is when you start to fill with love. That is when you start to get fulfillment and find meaning and purpose again in your life. And when you're living and coming from that type of vibration or energy or emotional state of being, boy, that's when all your relationships start to flourish. With yourself, with your spouse or significant other, with your family, with your friends, right? As you heal yourself, you enable yourself to make your best relationships. And with that, I wish you success, and I'm sending you my love. Links will be in the description if you want to purchase that script, and I hope you make your best relationship.